Welcome one and all to weekly webinar series organized by IEEE Malabar Subsection in association with IEEE Malabar Hub on every Thursday. So today we have an eminent speaker from industry who have been working in industry for the past 30 plus years. And he is none other than Hammad Abdurahiman, and he is also a senior IEEE member. So today you'll be talking on a particular topic called importance of academics and industry linkage. So before starting up with the talk, I'll introduce our chief guest to the August audience. He is having 30 plus years of experience in technology, engineering, and management. And he has executed several IT, telecom, automation, and security projects, including countrywide alphanumeric paging system, marine radio coastal station, traffic speed detection radar systems, etc. He had attended several technology conferences, seminars, and technical training sections in Europe, USA, Asia, and Middle East. Presented technical papers at various forums, seminars, and conducted TV programs for Channel 37 Qatar. He is a graduate in Applied Science in Computer Information Tech and Systems Management from USA and Fellow in Business Administration from CSM Canada. He holds the following professional institution memberships. He is a professional member AIIM USA, Fellow Institute of Sales and Marketing UK, Presidential Council member American Institute of Management, member British Institute of Management UK, member Institution of Industrial Managers UK, member Institute of Electrical Engineers UK, member IFSA UK, member Australian Computer Society. Currently, he is serving as Director and CEO of Technowave LLC USA, Malja Tech Qatar, AutoServe India. And he is also a member Director Board of Trustee Sadbhavana World School. He is also a member Director Board of Trustee Logosphere Calicut. And he is also a well-known social service person. He is acting as an NGO and voluntary community services. And he is also a benefactor and promoter of Social Advancement Foundation of India, also a vice chair and patron member of CIGI. With all due respect, on behalf of IEEE MSS, we welcome you to this weekly webinar session. With his vast experience in industry, we are fortunate to have him here for sharing his thoughts and experience to the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can you see the slide?
Yeah. You can put it in slide mode.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, clear now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me express my gratitude to IEEE Malabar Subsection and especially Ms. Sabik TV for this nice introduction. It's a privilege for me to be associated with this great institute, and I'm glad to be with all of you. We'll be talking about importance of academics industry linkages. This is the 41st webinar of the series. Before I start, I would like to briefly introduce IEEE because some of the guests may not know about this great institute in the US. IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers USA, world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity, was formed in 1963, merging two societies in USA, namely AIEE, American Institute of Electrical Engineers, formed in 1884, and IRE, Institute of Radio Engineers, formed in 1912. With 419,000 members in over 160 countries and its highly cited publications, conferences, technology standards, and professional and educational activities, IEEE is the trusted voice for engineering, computing, and technology information around the globe. When we talk about academics industry linkages, we focus first on innovation, a fuel for AI linkage. Innovation is the fuel for ameliorating the socio-economic competitiveness of developing nations like India. In the next century, innovation will be the leading force around the globe, which will decide even the human civilization of tomorrow. Innovation and academic sector. Indian innovation ecosystem relies heavily upon the academic sector, comprising more than 1,000 higher education institutes to keep itself propelling. Global innovation matrix. India among top 10 nations considering research publications effectively demonstrates the R&D abilities of our higher educational institutes and research institutes. What are the major benefits of academic industry collaboration? Number one, better potential for societal pact. Number two, better student opportunities and outcomes. Number three, increased funding. By joining academic institutions with industries, it would generate greater opportunities to increase our GDP, whereby the governments will have sufficient funds, and it will increase the funding capability of any nation. Economic development potential. Utilize government programs for funding. Now we have a question in Indian perspective. Conversion rate of research into technology is relatively very low in India as compared to developed nations as well as developing nations. Why? What could be the reason? You see, there are major stakeholders. Innovation is performed and catalyzed primarily by three main pillars: government, academia, and industrial sector of India. The roadblock, lack of effective synergy between these stakeholders, I mean government, academia, and industrial sector, is a roadblock in delivering research to market. So what is the solution to address, how to address this problem? A fruitful way to address and resolve this issue is by creating a strong industry, academia, R&D ecosystem. A fruitful way to address and resolve this issue is by creating a strong industry academia R&D ecosystem in the country. Industry versus academia, two different approaches. Industry is forever scouting innovative ideas that address Industry is forever scouting innovative ideas that address their R&D problems. On the other hand, academia is in pursuit of a hand-holding to translate and scale up its lab research. So they have two different approaches which are not converging into one common pathway. A revolutionary step. Can you hear me? Sabi?
Yes.
There was an interruption. Okay. A revolutionary step, the successful translation of research from academia to industry requires industry participation in the research right from the beginning of the project till the development of product and technology. Silo mentality. Academia and industry have to shed away the existing approach of working in silos and rather look for synergistic routes. By silo mentality, I mean an inward-looking approach resisting sharing information with other stakeholders, rather keeping confined to our own tiny shell and not sharing the information. That is the silo mentality. Synergistic routes to improve global ranking. Academia and industry must look for synergistic routes to improve Indian global innovation ranking, especially in innovation linkages and university-industry collaboration parameters. As shown on the left side, the picture, synergistic effects, you have A and B. The effect of two chemicals taken together is greater than the sum of the separate effect at the same doses. Example, alcohol and other drugs. Fine. It's not just the sum of A and B. It's much more than that result. So if you adopt synergistic routes to improve our performance, then we can, of course, expect a higher global ranking of innovation. India, the largest education network in the world, as listed on All India Survey of Higher Education 2018-19, there are over 993 universities and 39,931 colleges and 10,725 standalone institutions in India. India has become one of the largest networks of educational institutes in the world. We are proud of that. IA linkage by INI to improve. Only a handful of institutes of national importance, INIs, such as Indian Institute of Technology, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, etc., and selected universities have successfully implemented industry academic linkages for collaborative research and development. The Economic Survey 2021, an eye-opener. The Economic Survey 2021, released recently, sounded critical of Indian firms' expenditures on research and development. See, the R&D was 0.65% of GDP in the Economic Survey 2021, which is much lower than that of the top 10 economies in the world. In the top 10 economies, you can find this ratio, 1.5 to 3% of GDP they spend on R&D. For example, neighboring China, as per the survey, had targeted its gross expenditure on R&D as part of GDP to touch 2.5% in 2020, as against our 0.65%. So this Economic Survey of 2021 is an eye-opener. Jugaad innovation, not a solution. You know about Jugaad innovation? This is a flexible approach to solve a problem using limited resources, but in an innovative way. This is called Jugaad innovation. The Economic Survey 2021 said that mere reliance on Jugaad innovation can risk the country missing crucial opportunities. You find a great innovation by common people, intelligent Indians on the left side. Global Innovation Index, India 48th rank. India has entered the group of top 50 countries in the Global Innovation Index for the first time, moving up 4 places to the 48th rank and keeping the top position among the nations in Central and Southern Asia. I would like to talk about some history about Industrial Revolution. We are discussing about academic industry linkage. There are different stages of Industrial Revolution, as you all know. Industrial Revolution 1, 2, and 3. The first Industrial Revolution spanned 1760 to 1840, epitomized by the steam engine. The second started in the late 19th century and made mass production possible. The third began in the 60s with mainframe computing and semiconductors. Now we are heading to fourth Industrial Revolution, and people are even talking about Industrial Revolution 5. The fourth Industrial Revolution is the ongoing automation of traditional manufacturing and industrial practices using modern smart technology. Large-scale machine-to-machine communication, M2M, and the Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, these are all integrated for increased automation. You can find other technologies like blockchain, AI, IoT, etc. in the fourth Industrial Revolution. So how to implement academics industry linkages successfully? How to improve our global ranking in innovation as the largest democracy in the world? having a country who contributed to the world scientifically and culturally. We remember our great scientists like C.V. Raman and Dr. Abdul Kalam. So to implement successful academics industry linkages, we will have to create the following. Mere discussion won't help. We will have to work hard, strive for this cause, research and consultancy cell. This is the first and foremost one has to think about to have successful academics industry linkage. Then comes technology transfer, commercialization, licensing cell with legal IP cell corporate laboratories. Third, centers of excellence. When you talk about centers of excellence, we will have to identify the actual industrial needs and requirements. And based on that, we will have to create centers of excellence to innovate new ideas and technologies in collaboration with universities and industrial enterprises. Fourth, IA clubs, industry academic clubs, so that they can join together. They can have a coffee and discuss about the possible collaboration in establishing this IA linkage. Fifth, industry involvement in academic activities, such as curriculum design and review, teaching and training, research, advisory, etc. One has to remember, technology is evolving so fast that day by day you find new things. The basic fundamentals of engineering, the books, it was considered to be the lives of such books are around 15 years in the older ages, but now you have to change it maybe every year. It's so fast. So curriculum design is very important. Teaching and training, you have to update. Now you find many graduates coming out of the universities. They don't have any hands-on experience when they are out in the job market. It needs few months or years to train them till they are fit for the job in the industrial market. Industrial chairs and industrial fellowships. This will give competitive spirit for young scientists who come up with new ideas and innovations. Entrepreneurship cells and clubs. We have to identify those intelligent brains among our university students and form clubs so that they can sit together and share ideas, whereby, as I explained earlier, two thoughts would converge, and you will find once that they are fused together, the thought process would broaden to wide horizons. Entrepreneurship cells and clubs, research parks, technology business incubators. Are we hopeless about these AI linkages? I'll give you an example of Institute of Science in Bangalore. They instituted a Society of Innovation and Development with industry in 3 arms. A core arm, core innovation and research with enterprise that engages with large corporates. Time to arm, the second one, that engages with medium-sized companies. And C, STEM arm that works for startups. These 3 arms actively work towards matching industry requirements with the scientific knowledge repository of the institute and handle all the negotiations for pursuing collaborative work. We do appreciate. You see, they are one of the best premium science institute in India. It's the right step. Now I'll give you some success models, IA linkage, global success models. Serum Institute of India is collaborating with AstraZeneca and Oxford University to manufacture COVID-19 vaccine. It's a great contribution of our nation to the world. We are proud of that development. Cambridge University, UK and Dyson jointly opened Dyson Center for Engineering Design. University of Cincinnati is collaborating with Procter & Gamble, a leading consumer goods company. IA linkage, global university success models. I would like to draw your attention to 2 models here. University of Freiburg in Germany, for example, organizes science days, which are in effect a form of speed dating for businesses and researchers. The university contacts and sets up meetings with businesses. We choose the topics of or areas of science to be discussed during the meeting with academic staff. The Technical University of Munich has an office dedicated to fostering partnerships with industry. Institution's applied research focuses on developing concrete solutions to defined problems, while its basic research aims to further scientific knowledge. So I just cited 2 examples. There are many more in Europe and US. So as Henry Ford said, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. First of all, I would recommend that academic institutions and universities and industrial enterprises must come together. They have to establish a proximity, a bond of relationship between them. They should not have any kind of silo mentality, as I explained before. That is the first thing. Second one, they should keep together. When they join together, that would produce progress. So keeping together is progress. Now you come together, keep together, and finally you work together. So the academic institutions and industrial enterprises, if they start working together, success is always guaranteed. There's no doubt about that. As commented by one of the great industrialists, Henry Ford of United States of America. So let us have a solution, fuse academics and industry together. I would like to draw your attention to a universal phenomenon one could observe in this world. Every star in the universe, including the sun, is alive due to nuclear fusion. With around 15 million degrees Celsius temperature and high pressure at the core of the sun, two isotopes of hydrogen, deuterium and tritium, fuse to form helium and releases the massive amount of energy in the form of heat. Around 600 million tons of hydrogen are converted into helium every second in the sun through this process of fusion. It's not nuclear fission, I'm talking about nuclear fusion. The energy generated through fusion is much, much more than fission. So if you can find such a result in this universe around you, in the natural, as a natural process, why don't we synchronize with that natural process and apply in our approach and attitude, and join together our hands? Success will be ours. Let us dream as an Indian citizen. Let us strive hard to elevate our great nation to reach top 20 list of global innovation index from current 48th position by linkage of academy and industry. And we should not forget, we are now at 48th position. We are proud of that. But there are 47 before us. First one is Switzerland, and China stands 14th, 1-4. Long way to go. Let us dream as an Indian citizen in 2021. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, dream is not what you see in sleep. Dream is something which doesn't let you sleep. I want you to dream as Dr. Abdul Kalam has suggested. We don't want to have a vision in our sleep. We want something in our mind which should not let us sleep. Let us be awakened. Let us have sleepless nights to bring our great nation ahead of all other countries in the world. Let us try our level best to establish IEEE linkage in such a way that it produces results. And such results are translated into Global Innovation Index, our position. Let us bring down from 48th to the top 20 or even 10 in the next 5 years. That is my dream. I hope you all share this dream. And I hope you will not just dream and sleep, but you will be awakened with your dream. Albert Einstein said, if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. If you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. Let us have a paradigm shift. Let us change our outlook. Let us change our approach. Let us evolve ourselves. Each and every Indian citizen We are the second highly populated nation in the world. We have sufficient human resources. We have thousands of great institutions, universities in India. We have resources. We are a blessed nation. Let us work together. Let us have a vision about the future. And let us establish a framework on how to proceed further, especially in this body of IEEE. We could connect academic institutions with industries. We can license this joining process in Indian industrial environment. There are youths in our country who had great innovative ideas. We have to facilitate for them the required infrastructure so that they can move forward. Let us find out those pearls in our society. Startups are another hope. Let us encourage the startups and give them technology information as required. Let us organize educational seminars to teach the young generation on the engineering principles. And above all, don't forget the future. In a couple of years, 70% of the jobs engineers do now would not exist in this world. They are marching towards AI, artificial intelligence, blockchain, robotics, IoT, bioinformatics. World is changing. Such a pace unimaginable in the past history. Let us update our knowledge. Let us be workaholic. I visited China for some training, technical software training. Believe me, I find that people really workaholic. They don't care how many hours they work. They work and work. That's how they become the good economy in the world. Let us not be lazy. I visited many European countries. You find discipline there. Their promptness. They keep time. They come to the office 5 minutes earlier, all the time. Any meeting, any assignment. Let us have such a culture in our country. Let us increase the reading habits. And don't forget, let us study our environment, our resources, our indigenous resources, and try to link the technology to increase the productivity output of our agro industry, for example. We are an agro-rich state as Kerala. Let us focus our attention on how to improve agricultural sector to increase the national GDP. Apply modern innovative technologies like IoT, artificial intelligence, etc. How to increase the production We should not leave a single square centimeter of the land without high productivity applying technology innovation. I would like to end my session now and expect any questions or clarifications. There was a power failure. Now it is a time for question answer. If you have any questions, do you want me to continue or you want me to focus on any points I missed? Or?
Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask directly by unmuting your mic, or you can just put it in chat. I will talk with sir.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Any question, please?
No, I believe there is no questions, I think.
Hammad Sahib, what do you think the best way to make the beginning of a linkage between academia and industry? This is Haji Abdullah Kuti.
Yeah, I mentioned about the beginning is to establish a close relationship. It was already shown in the slide. They have to sit together and talk each other and convince each other and change their mode of approach to a new level so that they can gradually work together.
Thank you.
Ahmad Sahib.
Yeah.
And Zakaria. Various research projects, in fact, not projects, researches are going on in universities and some colleges.
Yeah.
But they produce several PhDs also.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, all these PhD theses, after successful completion of their work, students leave it there, and it is just kept in some corners of the library. And one person, that particular boy or girl, is benefited by getting a doctorate and getting some faculty position or something.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, nothing happens. This by spending lakhs of public money, these PhDs are produced. But only one guide and one student, they are benefited. So have you ever thought of making use of these results, suppose in various areas, physics, botany, zoology, various areas? They are useful to the public. It never reaches the real public or real society for any kind of practical use. So how can we think of linkage between this and industry?
Yeah, your question is really very important, and we can find many scholars having PhDs, but the research works are being kept in the cabinet and without being translated into industrial ventures by any sex. So the main problem is, as I said, the silo mentality. The academic institutions, universities, as well as industrial sector, they should have a joint strategy. I would say the first phase should be to identify all such research works and bring those and subject it to a scrutinization, and a team, a research engineering team can sit and evaluate those research papers, and at least I'm sure around 20–30% of those research can be translated into real industrial ventures. Well, there is lack of understanding. And when I visited, one example in Japan, when I was in a technical training, I noticed one thing. There was a factory, mostly robots were there in the factory. Human involvement was hardly 10–20%. So one of the staff sitting there, I just visited, and he told me about his job. It's just taking some diodes and capacitors and joining together. And I asked him, where is your friend who is sitting next to you? He said he just went out for a tea. And I asked, what is he doing? Yes, this guy explained to me the nature of his work. When I asked about the other person, what is he doing? He said, I don't know. How many years you are working together and sitting together? He said, several years. And you don't know what is he doing? No, I don't care about what is he doing. I mean, they are so much specialized in their area. This is one thing we have to remember, especially Keralites, Malayalis. I think they put the fingers in so many things at a time. They are brilliant, they are intelligent, but I would suggest one has to focus in one area and make research, and that research should be studied by the concerned authorities and implemented into industrial ventures. Hope I answered up to such an extent, because I am not the body to answer this question. In fact, it should be some university, regulatory authorities has to study this seriously.
Don't you think there should be a strategical approach from the government side to collaborate these two ends?
Of course, government should have a strategy. That's very important. Government can play a major role in this respect. There's no doubt about that. Any further questions, please?
Sir, one comment is there.
Yeah, I'm reading that. It's from Jayashree. Yeah. A very important comment. I will read it. In order to make the students equipped with industry, first of all, the teachers should have a thorough knowledge about that. Our present education system is inadequate, I think. Just completing MTech and joining in the field of teaching. Maybe this is one of the reasons for students having not enough imagination. I do agree with you, Madam Jayashree. Of course, the teachers should have a thorough knowledge. I mean, teachers not only should have a knowledge in the subject they're teaching. For example, if they are a physics teacher, but they don't have much knowledge about the industry related with physics, how physics is applied in the industrial sector. So they should also know about such applications, some practical field applications. And your second point, it's inadequate, I think, in the sense that just completing MTech, okay, right, imagination, that is very important. Just teaching may sometimes miss this this imagination. Imagination is very important. Psychologically, if you visualize, imagine and dream about something to happen in the future, and if you focus in that, study says that the future is going to evolve the way you dreamt. It will happen. That is the beauty of dreaming. As Martin Luther said, I have a dream, and he had a dream, a great dream he shared with the world. And as you said, imagination, I would like to emphasize and underline that word, because dreaming, in the dream only imagination will come, in the subconscious mind. In the conscious mind, you may not be able to imagine much. So let us have a relaxed mode, and in alpha mode of thinking, one has to imagine. Fresh ideas will come. Like, the bees fly thousands of miles, and they go to bring nectar, and then they have a hexagonal shaped cell where they bring honey and keep it. So see the precision of the imaginative powers of bees. So let us all become like bees who are hardworking. At the same time, they have great imagination.
Sir, I do have that comment. Like present education system, we have teachers, and teachers directly after graduating or post-graduating, they are coming to teaching field.
Mm-hmm.
So like what we have in medical field, like after completing MPBS, they have house urgency.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some sort of thing has to be introduced for the education system also. Like education means engineering education.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
like after completing, they should have some industrial experience.
Yeah,
1 or 2 years.
exactly.
That has to come. Then only this thing that will happen. Like the teachers can motivate the students for doing some startups or industrial projects or something like that.
Yeah, like in the medical education, you can't, you can never become a doctor if you simply study. You have to be experienced, right? So similarly, in the engineering field, we have to apply such a methodology, and maybe you can recommend to the authorities, concerned authorities in the university, as IEEE or I don't know, some other educational authorized institutions. Why don't we approach them and convince this idea? I know, because when I recruited many engineers, you see, they don't have any knowledge about the practical work. They study the theory. They somehow they want the certificate. This should change. They should have some imagination.
Okay, sir. Thank you from IEEE Malabar Subsection for giving a wonderful insight about the importance of industry and academia relationship. You have covered a lot of aspects and given some models for how to have industry academia relationship, and you are insisting that all educational systems should go for that, so that we have a better output and thereby improve the GDP of the nation. So hope that people from engineering colleges will take up this, and of course they will go for having an industry relationship, industry academy relationship, and at least every department will have one tie-up with industry, and so that their students will be benefited by having internship training programs, etc., with the industry, so that ultimately after coming out of the colleges, they have the idea and imagination of having or giving or thinking about some or imagining some products or design, so that they can implement that. So so thank you for giving a wonderful session. On behalf of IEEE MSS, we thank you for giving a wonderful section and spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for the interruption in between due to the power failure. So I don't know if it caused any problem to anybody. So I do apologize for that. And thank you very much for giving this opportunity. It was a wonderful session, and I do appreciate all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
For the participants, a feedback link was being put in chat box. You can fill it out.
Chat box.
Sir, shall I close it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you.